Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the OXBC video podcast. I'm joined today by OXBC member Chris Ciszak. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm good, very well, thank you. How about you, Carl?
Good. I'm not too bad, thank you, considering. So if anyone's watching this from the future, we're currently in the midst of the COVID-19 outbreak. We're all sat at home, feeling a bit sorry for ourselves in isolation. But Chris is actually out there and you've been building stuff that might actually help some vulnerable people and businesses get through it. So give us a quick update on what you're doing with saveyourvenue.org and Hero Buddy.
I think it's important to understand why we do certain things in certain situations. And, we've never been exposed to anything like the pandemic we've got at the moment, not to that extent. And it just reminds me, myself being Polish, my family died in the Second World War. And I understand how important it is that community gets together to try to help the people on the front line, and the people working on things in the back end as well. So it's very easy to start thinking negatively in a situation like this. We are locked down, the holidays all screwed up, and we're not able to enjoy our lives the way that we used to. But that creates this new opportunities how we can look at our lives and live them. And we weren't different together. Myself, together with my girlfriend Cami, we weren't different. We were a little bit upset at the beginning, and but I knew that in every situation there's some kind of opportunity to do good. And for many years I've been waiting for the times where we would be able to start building products that we still need, because everybody keeps saying, first world countries, they've achieved everything. There's saturation of products. We don't need new things, but not in times like this. So I asked Cami, hey, do you want to help? Do you want to do something meaningful? And, this is when we stopped worrying and sat down and started brainstorming different ideas, how we could be valuable to our community. And the two top ideas of two biggest problems we saw were the most vulnerable people, as well as small businesses. So we decided, okay, let's focus on trying to save lives first, and then we'll focus maybe on businesses. And we brainstormed different ideas how we could do that. And we decided, well, let's create maybe a platform where we could connect young and healthy individuals with people that are high risk because of their current illnesses or they are elderly. Cami was a bit skeptical at the beginning. Hey, can we create something quick? If we're not going to do it, ASAP, there's no point of starting. We're going to be too late. And I felt like I'm going to take the challenge. And over the weekend, we created herobuddy.org, which was supposed to be serving that purpose of connecting people around the world, because what we didn't know is that when the need is going to arrive. We knew that the need will arrive, but we didn't want to be too late. So, as soon as it was out, Cami took over with the campaign and things like that. We got covered in, we got really good response in Argentina, Spain, England. And we got covered in the biggest news outlets in Argentina. We even got into Vogue International. So that was exciting to see people willing to join, and we had a lot of positive outcomes of this, and people willing to help. We call them heroes. We've got heroes in a hospital on the front line, and there are some people as well, younger people, that are willing to take that risk and help as much as they can. And I suppose that leads us to the next idea. Well, okay, so we we created something that could potentially help people, but then how we help the businesses. If you got any questions, by the way, as I talk.
Well, first of all, I'm
I'm
pretty staggered by the length of time it took you. So it took you a weekend to build Hero Buddy, right? So
yeah,
you're talking 2 days. And how were you working 24/7 that weekend to get it done?
Kind of. It was all day, kind of all night. Cami was helping with with food, so I remember she would bring things and for me to eat. But when I'm focused, I don't want distraction. And when you're trying to build something quickly, you really need to focus down on things that truly matter and ignore the things that have not big impact. If something is not gonna help me, get to the finish line within 2 days, I'm stopped thinking about it, moving on to the next thing. And that kind of mindset was necessary to achieve that.
So for people who haven't seen Hero Buddy, how does it work?
You go on the herobuddy.org platform, and you either register as a hero or somebody that needs help. And you populate your first name, your approximate location, doesn't need to be specific, the area that you're willing to help with. And you can provide a phone number, because the idea was that if you want to quickly connect, use the phone call. That's much faster, much better. And if you're looking for help, or you're looking for help for your elderly parents, then you can register them on the platform, or register yourself on the platform. And you've got 2 sides. People are looking for help, and the people that are willing to provide that help. And you can visually see everybody on the map and get in touch. There's a messaging feature on the website. I'll just grab a phone and give a call.
So obviously you're really skilled in the technical side of building stuff to be able to do it in 48 hours. But what kind of considerations were there beyond just the building, like GDPR, for example, or how it would work with people maybe taking advantage of the system and knowing that there's vulnerable people at one end? What kind of considerations did you have there?
That's a really good question. I suppose the answer would be, we not doing anything more than what you could do if you went out and start, banging on doors and offering your help. It's kind of very similar thing. We allow people to give as much information as they want. They can delete their accounts, but I tell you this, I was not worrying too much about certain aspects of it, because I needed to make sure that there is something out there. If you want to use it, use it. You don't want to use it, don't use it. This is supposed to save lives, and when we're saving lives, there are no regulations. When we're saving lives, the most important thing is to just be out there and do. And that's how we were thinking about it.
Yeah, well done you. It's fantastic to get up off your own back and do that so quickly as well. So yeah, let's move on to the business side. So how does it work with the with saveyourvenue.org?
So after we finished with Hero Buddy, I started working on the way how we could help small businesses. And we knew before that gift cards is one of the ways. You can use a gift card within 12 months, and it provides funds to the given business immediately. And that's when they needed it. And we also knew that, within a month or 2, these small businesses could be out of business. So something needs to be out there immediately. And as I was actually building it, I found out that my Krieger, a co-founder of Instagram, created a similar platform for San Francisco area. And I got in touch and forked the project. It was open. He open sourced it and built it for the London community. And we stayed with Mike throughout, and he was very supportive. He gave us a shout out, and we contributed to the open source project throughout as well. And the idea with Save Your Venue is we've got a lot of amazing restaurants in London and area that surrounds London. There are big and small businesses that need help, and gift cards is one way of supporting them. But then we knew that donations and increasing the takeaways could help the restaurants get through these difficult times. So we decided, well, we're going to connect everything and have a single place to go for every restaurant in London where they can look for help, be it through donation, gift card scheme, and takeaways. And now we're trying to collaborate with delivery vendors, food delivery vendors, the biggest in the UK, to join the initiative and truly go into these small restaurants and help them upsell the products and the meals, and hopefully it will help somebody along the way. All the initiatives are not for profit. We do what we can to support, and we're open for any feedback to make it work.
And that's a good example of like when an individual can get up and do something from a not-for-profit point of view, because I guess from a business angle, if you were to create a similar site like that, you'd be thinking, well, I'm competing against Just Eat and I'm competing against Uber Eats and things like that. Why would I bother? But this has got a real tangible benefit for people that just want to help, a local business that they really enjoy going to, and they want it to still be there after all of this stuff is over. So how would a local business go about getting on the site if they were interested? Would they have to be nominated, or?
How local businesses could get onboarded, or?
Yeah.
So basically, we didn't necessarily need to onboard anybody, because again, that would create additional delays. You cannot be calling 3,000-4,000 restaurants in London and trying to get them on board. But what you can do, they already exist online. You can collect all of them, collect all the gift card schemes, collect all the donation pages, and that's actually what we did. We collected all these links manually. We've got over 3,000 restaurants in the system, and this might not be the most efficient way of doing stuff, but it's definitely the fastest. And we were, up and running, next weekend. So that was also super fast. But yeah, what we're looking for now is actually we found that it's much more difficult to actually get to work with GoFundMe and collect links from there. So we're trying to get into GoFund and work internally with these guys to just pull the data automatically, and increase the speed that way as well.
Yeah, makes sense. So do you, obviously we all hope this this outbreak's going to be over soon. I'm sure it'll be a few months yet, but do you see kind of longevity in those ideas for how these sites can continue to help people after the outbreak's done?
I'm not even thinking that far. The idea is we release it. If people want to use it, we do our best to support them. If not, the idea dies, it dies. We're not doing it for any, future goals. The goal is, and the need is at the moment. What it's going to turn into, nobody knows. And, I don't necessarily think too much about that part. We've got too much to cover with the problems that we're seeing at the moment.
Yeah, of course. I just think there's a lot of potential, because vulnerable people are going to be vulnerable after the outbreak, and what's happening might end up changing some people's attitudes in terms of volunteering and make that whole kind of thing a little bit easier to broach with systems like this.
And with Hear About It, we've already seen what we did not expect, that a lot of governments and supermarkets and food delivery vendors started working together to actually support these vulnerable people. So the need for Hero Body decreases in certain circumstances, and I'm super happy about it. Yeah. Because these guys already have got a channel, and I cannot get my online shopping anymore. that's fine, because I know that supermarkets prioritize the people that really need it, and supermarkets work with governments to do that. So that's good. Where it's going to lead to, nobody knows, but I can see things are happening, and I'm happy to see everybody working together.
Yeah, it's fantastic, fantastic. Looking forward to seeing how it develops. This is obviously a blockchain podcast, blockchain-based podcast. You're part of OXBC, and you're a very busy guy. So aside from saving the world over the weekend, you're also involved in a blockchain project, Inventron, right? So tell everyone a little bit about what's going on there.
Yeah, so to those that don't know what Inventron is my small consultancy, a blockchain consultancy. We work with enterprises and banks to help them implement blockchain solutions. Normally, I would be thinking how blockchain can help in the current situation, but the truth is something needs to be done out fast. So, and having my background in technology, I'm being helpful where I can be, not don't stick to the technology that I'm in at the moment. And recently, I finished helping build a digital bank in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And that was a great initiative by AGTB Bank called Patamar, and it's gone live, and the project has been built on the Corda network. And we've learned a lot along the way, how to create a new infrastructure to support underbanked countries. We work within Middle East and African markets, and where that's going to lead to, nobody knows. But it's good to see that banks are playing and trying to create something meaningful. What we also found is that Corda DLT itself is very, very well designed and great to support the banking problems. So yeah, I'm looking forward. It's been a very exciting project. We had a great team. A few resources were based in London, a lot of in Abu Dhabi and India. So it was a worldwide project, and I'm happy that we are part of it.
Yeah, we spoke to Anna Usman Chowdhury on a previous podcast because she's based in Dubai, and she was saying that the way the country's set up and their attitude towards blockchain and wanting to be the first blockchain-run country has really helped boost adoption and has seen the growth of a lot of projects, just like the bank. So, how did you come to work in that region? Like, how did you approach Patamar, or did they approach you?
No, so I was introduced to a company called Sapient. Sapient was a technology partner, and we started working together to support that HDB bank with the Patamar project. So it was a collaboration of multiple vendors working on the same problem.
So I'm going to ask the stupid question: what makes Patamar different to other banks?
In a lot of the cases, is the channel that you already got. Right, you create a solution, and if you've got already channel that you can, push it to, then I think that's what really gives that advantage. Obviously, within countries like within Africa, there's a lot of money laundering, and that was a big challenge. So we created a decentralized KYC and sanction checks to support all the compliances out there. But yeah, the main idea is to support the USD-based transactions in trade finance out of US working hours, and within seconds, rather than waiting a few days, and at as low cost as possible. That was the main idea, and there was a good exposure to African market for HDB. So I think that was the main advantage as well.
So the transactions actually take place on the blockchain, do they?
That is correct. Yeah.
Cool.
So you've got obviously cash banking partners that store cash, and you've got tokens that are being minted as soon as the cash arrives from a given bank. It's only for the corporate environment. So every token is obviously backed by US dollar, and expanding to other currencies is not a big deal.
So what kind of feedback have you had so far on how people are adopting the bank and using it?
To be honest, not much, because as soon as we go live, usually I will just take a step back and think about the next project, so I don't get involved too much what happens afterwards. So I can't give too much feedback on that point.
Oh, well, we'll definitely keep an ear to the ground, because it's a really interesting. I mean, it's the kind of archetypal use case, isn't it, for blockchain? So to see it actually working would be a cool thing to follow up on. All right, well, we've come to that time in the podcast where it's time for you to kind of take advantage of the reach of the OXBC network. So with everything you've got going on at the moment and what your next steps are going to be, how would you like to utilize the network, and who would you like to connect with?
I think OXBC has proven so far it's a network of very valuable people, great individuals that are willing to help and support each other. They've got great experience and exposure within the blockchain environment. I'm just happy to be a part of it. And if there is anybody out there that has got some ideas how to help with the current COVID situation, please reach out to me. That's the most important thing. Just so you know, I'll be looking for a co-founder to start a new company, build a new product. I bring to the table all the technology background and creating the products and bringing them to market. And I'll be looking for someone with the right channel exposure within the given marketplace. So if you've got the blockchain idea that you want to take to another level and make it happen, please make sure you connect with us, and we'll have a chat.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people and listeners eager to take you up on that after what they've heard in this episode. Congratulations and well done on stepping up and doing what you've done so far. Really looking forward to seeing how it works out with all your projects.
Awesome, Carl. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And if you're listening, please subscribe and please join OXBC. We've got a great community. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Here. Well done. Thanks a lot, Chris. Take care.